Dr. Alistair Finch adjusted his spectacles. He peered at the seismograph display. A tiny flutter, probably a distant lorry on the motorway, or perhaps a minor earth tremor miles away. He made a small note. The park was vast. Its secrets were mostly geological, but the flutters continued. They did not fade. Instead, they grew a little, just a fraction, enough to draw Finch's eye again. He called over young Miss Emily Carter. "Take a look at this, Carter," he pointed. "Odd, wouldn't you say?" She leaned in, her brow furrowed slightly. It was indeed unusual, not like the usual background noise. The faint vibrations persisted. They came and went, but they returned with a curious regularity, a subtle pulse from deep beneath the park. The next morning the data was collated. Dr. Finch and Carter worked side by side. They spread printouts across the large table, columns of numbers, wavy lines. The previous day's tremors were clear, but now a pattern began to show. It was startling, unexpected. The vibrations were not random at all. They occurred at precise intervals. Each pulse was almost identical to the last, a rhythmic beat like a giant slow heartbeat or a vast machine turning. Carter was the first to voice it. "This isn't natural, Doctor." Her voice was quiet. "Look at the symmetry. It's too perfect." Finch nodded slowly. His mind raced. Volcanic activity was ruled out. There were no other signs, no geothermal anomalies, no telltale gases, tectonic shifts unlikely. The signature was wrong, far too regular. It was as if something was deliberately making these sounds. The Earth, it seemed, held a new secret. Dr. Aris Thorne arrived. He was the lead seismologist, a man of calm and logic. He reviewed the findings. His expression grew grave. He traced the symmetrical waves with a finger. He listened to Finch's concerns. He studied Carter's meticulous charts. For a long while he said nothing. The silence in the room was profound. Then Thorne spoke. "This is not geology we are observing. This is something else entirely." He looked at his team. Their faces were expectant, anxious. The regularity, the precision. It suggests intelligence. A gasp from someone in the room. Intelligence, deep beneath the earth? It sounded like madness. "I propose a hypothesis," Thorne continued. "It is a radical one, I admit." He took a breath. "What if something is down there, something vast, something dormant for eons?" He let the words sink in. "And what if it is now waking up?" The room was utterly still. The idea was monstrous. Yet the data was undeniable. The unthinkable had been spoken. The decision was made quickly. They needed more information, much more. The existing sensors were not enough. They needed to pinpoint the source, to understand its scale. Thorne authorized the deployment of new equipment, highly sensitive geophones, magnetometers, devices to listen more intently, to peer deeper into the earth. Teams were organized, small groups, working discreetly. The national park was a protected area. They could not disturb the wildlife or attract undue attention. They moved with quiet efficiency, placing sensors in carefully chosen locations across hills, deep within wooded valleys, forming a network. A giant ear pressed to the ground. A central monitoring hub was established, back at the main research station. Computers hummed, screens glowed with incoming data. The new sensors began to report. The picture grew clearer. The source of the vibrations was deep, and it was immense. The data converged. Triangulation pointed to one specific area, a remote part of Ashworth Park, a place of ancient oak trees, seldom visited by hikers. It was known as Whisperwood, an apt name it now seemed. The epicenter of the mystery lay there, beneath the gnarled roots of those old trees, deep in the silent earth. A small specialist team was assembled. Dr. Thorne himself would lead it. Carter, with her keen analytical mind, joined him, and a geologist, Dr. Sharma, an expert in subterranean structures. They travelled in a single unmarked vehicle. Their equipment was compact, designed for minimal impact, their mission on-site readings, to get as close as possible. They reached Whisperwood. The air was still. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy. There were no visible signs of disturbance, no cracks in the earth, no strange sounds audible to the naked ear. only the rustling of leaves, the chirping of unseen birds. Yet as they set up their instruments they felt it, a faint thrumming, through the soles of their boots. The source was directly beneath them. Section 6. The first glimpse. They deployed the ground-penetrating radar, a portable unit capable of imaging deep structures. Dr. Sharma supervised its operation. The device sent pulses into the earth and listened for the echoes. Slowly, an image began to form on the screen, a cross-section of the world beneath their feet. What it revealed made them catch their breath. It was not rock, not natural strata. Deep below, perhaps a mile down, an immense shape began to resolve. It was vast, unbelievably vast, several miles across it seemed. Its outline was too regular, too geometric, with sharp angles and smooth curving surfaces, clearly artificial. Man-made? Impossible, not at this depth, not with this scale. The structure was metallic. The radar signals indicated dense, unknown alloys. It was a single, coherent object, not a collection of smaller things. The symmetrical vibrations they had tracked for days emanated directly from this buried behemoth. It was the source, the heart of the mystery, the thing that was pulsing with slow, rhythmic life. The first glimpse was awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling. Section 7. The Stirring Titan. As they watched, the nature of the vibration shifted. The steady metronomic pulse faltered, then it changed. It became more complex, a series of intricate rhythms, interlocking patterns of energy. It was like listening to a giant machine, its gears engaging, its systems powering up, a slow, deliberate sequence. The awakening was progressing. Faint internal movements were detected. The sensitive instruments picked them up, subtle shifts within the colossal structure as if components were reconfiguring, or something was moving inside. It was not merely a static object being passively reanimated. It seemed to possess an internal dynamism, a purpose. The scientists felt a chill despite the mild day. This was not just a machine. The complexity of the new signals, the way they seemed to respond to the Earth's own subtle frequencies, it suggested something more, something akin to consciousness, a vast alien intellect stirring from an unimaginable sleep. The team exchanged wide-eyed glances. The Titan beneath Whisperwood was no longer just vibrating. Section 8. The world holds its breath. Dr. Thorne made the call, a secure line to a number known by very few. He spoke calmly, but his words carried immense weight. He described their findings, the structure, the signals, the awakening. The initial disbelief on the other end quickly replaced by grave concern. This was beyond any contingency plan. The news travelled swiftly up the chain of command to the highest levels of government. Secrecy was paramount. Panic was to be avoided at all costs. Ashworth National Park was quietly, discreetly sealed off. A plausible cover story was concocted, a rare geological survey, a minor environmental concern. The public remained unaware. For now. The small team of scientists at the park, they were now at the centre of a global secret. Their research continued, but the context had changed. Section 9. A new dawn, a new dread. The entity beneath the park was undeniably stirring. Its awakening was no longer a hypothesis. It was an observed fact. The complex signals intensified. They evolved, almost as if it were testing its systems, or perhaps becoming aware of the world above, the thin crust of rock and soil that separated it from them. What were its intentions? This was the question that haunted Thorne and Carter and everyone now privy to the secret. Was it benign, a peaceful giant from a bygone era? Or was it hostile, a threat buried long ago, now re-emerging? Or perhaps something far stranger, simply indifferent to the fleeting lives on the surface? Humanity stood on a precipice, on the verge of an encounter unlike anything in its recorded history or its wildest myths. All our conflicts, all our triumphs, all our knowledge, it seemed suddenly small, insignificant compared to the scale of what lay beneath Ashworth's green fields. The universe was about to reveal a profound truth. The story was not yet over. It was merely the prelude, the first chapter. The scientists kept their vigil, listening, watching, waiting for the next phase, for the full awakening. A new dawn was breaking, but whether it heralded an age of wonder or an age of dread, no one could yet say. The Titans slept no more.